For the early birds who are already here, I'm just going to make myself a coffee, and then I will be back. Hello, Riot Squad. Bird nerds. It's March. It's March. Wednesday, middle of March, for the Dawn Chorus episode of the Bird Emergency. Hello to everyone who is already here. Nice to see lots going on. I'm going to need my glasses to read the comments today. I'm becoming as blind as a bat. Okay, so everyone's been discussing in the chat while I was making my coffee. There we are. Coffee, soy milk, no sugar for me. Excuse me. Let's see. We're still discussing that the peaceful dove that made a total ass out of me. Let's see. Yeah, the laughing doves are African. Yeah. So, tell us, Stan, is the call similar to the peaceful dove here? Crikey, yeah. All right, now for first timers who don't know about the Dawn Chorus, the Dawn Chorus is where we share that wonder of the birds that get up early and start calling early. Oh, thanks for the Facebook love too, Naomi. And the idea is that we share them from all around the place. So I'm just checking. A couple come through on Twitter. Oh, thank you. While I'm talking about Twitter, if you're here, Tractorland, because I don't know, I'm not sure who Tractorland is. If you're here, thank you so much for your contribution on Buy Me a Coffee, and that, of course, is thebirdemergency.com /coffee. It's always great. Like I do have a bill that falls due this week, so it's nicely related to the show. So it's great when that comes up. Now let me get all the way up in my notifications and the mentions. All right, we've got another. There's another Dawn Chorus come straight in while we're going. Where do we want to start, gang? I think. Now, I've got Shane's, I've got Stan's, I've got Naomi's. Naomi's short but sweet. We've got a bunch on Twitter. I had someone email me and tell me they were going to send it, but it hasn't turned up yet. So I'll start with me, because I think I was the earliest one. Yeah, let's start here with me at 7 a.m. I'm sorry, mine might be a bit long, but I was discussing what was going on. Let's make sure we can all hear. I might get it right back to the start. All right. Now feel free to make fun of me and whatever as we go. So, and so you know, when I go out early, and it takes between 5 and 10 minutes to do every one of the socials that I do. So I usually start with Twitter, and then I do Mastodon. And Mastodon never works properly, so that ends up taking me ages. Then I usually do Instagram, which also posts to Facebook. And forgive me, if you've sent me something on Facebook, let me know and put the link in the chat, because I don't get all the notifications on Facebook, and just the way that they the way Facebook notifications and whatnot are for a page rather than a personal thing, I just don't see them all. Kevin, how are you? So Kevin's in Suva and heading off to Vanuatu shortly. If you caught Monday's show, is that Monday's show? Kevin told us a lot, and I learned from Kevin today on TikTok that the Australian magpie is a pest in Fiji. It was introduced along with the cane toad to combat the same beetle that the cane toad was introduced into Australia for from the sugar canes. So well done. And the common myna as well introduced, and Fiji also has the jungle myna, but I think the jungle myna might be a local bird or a sort of natural migrant hitched a ride on a boat. Excuse me. Okay, let's start with me at 7 a.m. this morning. March Dawn Chorus show. I'm out here in the dark. Well, not the dark, but the early morning light. Let me. I didn't have it loud. March Dawn Chorus show. I'm out here in the dark. Well, not the dark, but the early morning light. And we're going to just listen to my... Thanks, Martin. I'll look for those now. 7 a.m. Dawn Chorus. So... people heading off to work. Is this better? No. Can you hear any of those birds, gang? Oh, there we go. Yeah, the magpies are just in front of me here, so they're grazing, they're foraging around up on the open space of the park, but they haven't said anything. I don't know if you can hear the roosters. All right, well, that's about 3 minutes. I'll do this again in a little while. In between doing the first scene and herds, I'll pop in and do this again. So yeah, it's probably about 7 or 8 past 7 now. So I'll do another one. when I work out how to stop going live. How do I stop this thing? I don't know. How do I stop? How do I stop? There we are. That's enough embarrassment for that one. So I'll just get the next one ready. Sorry. So can remove me for a minute. All right. So have a think about what you heard in that, and we'll all talk about them in a minute. And after we've got through some of the videos, now, Murray, I have the email that you sent me with all the photographs, but did you send me a? Did you send me any videos with audio with sound attached? Because I can't seem to find them. Let's talk about Fiji after we've got through a few of the Dawn choruses. I'm going to start with Naomi's because it's short, and hopefully, let me just make sure the volume is up. We better do that again. Is it loud enough on that one, or do I need to turn the volume up enough? I'll turn the automatic off. There we go. I've just become louder because I've just manually done mine. Did that make that any louder? What have we got? There we are. So Naomi's was 4 a.m. Now, I'm not familiar with the call just on that one note, so it's not the sound of the Coel that I get or that I hear here and that I'm familiar with from up north. So tell me that. Now, Martin, I'm just going to see if it's landed in the spam file again. Tell me when you sent them. It might help me. No, I have nothing with attachments in the spam. Let's go back. Just bear with me, folks. I'm looking for in the last few days. Hey, would you have sent those in the last 3 days, Martin? I'll just search that now. No, so I don't have one in the last those many days. I'll check the last week and for attachment. No, all right. Did you do one before that? I'll go back a month and we'll check with that. Yeah, it does sound like the bomb dropping. It's got that descending tone. Now, Shane, I've got all the photos of yours as well. But we'll go now to the other one that I've got lined up here. Then we'll do another one on YouTube. Yours is there, Stan, and we've got a couple in on Twitter. If you're in the if you're in the chat or you're watching and you sent anything on Instagram, I haven't seen any tagged on Instagram or Facebook yet, but let me know. The easiest way to tell me is to come into the chat. And of course, if you're on Instagram, hopefully you're also got a Facebook account. You can jump into the chat on Facebook. You can jump into the chat on Twitch, and of course YouTube, Facebook, and on Twitter. You'll have to just send me a notification, tag me or something, and I can look at those. You can't chat with us directly like everyone else can on Twitter. So that's a very good idea. That's a very good reason to jump over and subscribe to the Bird Emergency. Fantastic. Well, there we are. I've never heard of Sooty Owl, so there we go. Good get there, Naomi. Very, very, very good get. Did anyone else get that? Yeah, that was great. That's a really good one, Naomi. All right, we're going back to... let's play that here. That was really good, Shane. What's the dog's name? Yeah. Thanks, Martin. I'm going to check back. I'm pretty sure I don't have any sound files from you, which is a worry because I've searched back for a month, and I've got your photos. So yeah, maybe do you want to just forward that email to me again, and I'll see if we can sort that out. Okay, now with that one from Shane on the dog walk, two things I want to know, Shane. One, well, okay, so Bryce is the dog, fantastic. Naomi's made a comment about that is a nice escarpment for the creek, isn't it? Going through there. Who wants to identify that call? And I could only hear predominantly one. Martin, you've sent it on YouTube? Okay. All right, we'll get to that. Australian Shepherd. Okay. All right. Well, let's do Stan's now, and then while we're doing some other ones, I will. There we are. Now I've done that one, haven't I? That one there. Yes. We've only done one of me, so let's go to Stan. Where is Stan? Where did I put him? Here we are. Share this tab. Sorry, everyone. I've got so many tabs open. All right. Let's get let's get Stan here. Let's get this one on the full thing. Make sure it's loud as we can get it. All right, let's go. Kangaroo Island. Okay, all right. We'll get back to my one in a minute. That one can disappear. I will just take me out for a minute. There we are. Stan, have you got white-plumed honeyeaters in there? Because there was a call that sounds very much in really early on, while the corellas were getting going, that sounded a lot like the white-plumed honeyeaters here. New Holland honeyeaters, you could hear those going. But in the later ones, they were different honeyeaters, and that mystery bird sounds to my ear like a cuckoo, but I don't know which one. I don't know. I don't know it. Do you have trillers? It doesn't sound exactly like any triller that I know, but I might punt on that. Anyone else want to have a stab? Let's go back to Shane's one as well. No one's had a punt. Excuse me, I need some. I've been up since 3 a.m. this morning, so I'm running on empty at the moment. I think we did Shane's one when we looked at Hugh Possingham the other day. Now, I did get your email to Shane, which you've just sent, haven't you? Yes, another one on the Bargo. I'll just download that, and then we'll get it back up in here. Yeah, I'm pretty sure in there I could hear the white-plumed honeyeater. I thought you might have the white-eared, but I didn't hear it. I didn't hear it doing the chop-chop. I don't know what else you might have. Yeah, I'll just bring up the next one that... oh, that's the one we've already got. Not the 08, we want the other one. Talking to myself, this one, Bargo River again. We'll do that because they're easy while they're in the studio. Comments. White-throated. Okay, well, white-throated's not one I've got round here, and I don't remember it, but. Come on, gang, have a crack. Have a crack at well, we'll have a crack at this one again. Thanks, Murray. I got that. Thank you. So, I'll get that one fired up in a second. I don't want there. Do I want it there? Want that out of there. There we are. All right. Comments. Sorry, gang. There's so many things going on. White-naped, yellow-plumed. Yeah, yellow-plumed may have been in there. I didn't catch it particularly. All right, next we're going to go to me at 7:20 in the morning, and then we'll get across to Murray, and then we'll get over to Twitter and have a look at Bronwyn Fredericks and a few. There's a couple in there. I just have to find out. Let's play that again because I could hear the. Let's play this one again first. Fantastic. Who wants to have a dip at any of those? Oh, okay, Naomi. They should. I got plenty of photos. We'll just see. Yes. Now this is half of the part of the point of doing this is that you get familiar with what you hear locally. And when you become an expert in your own birds, then as you roam a little bit further and you develop your keen eye, oh, let me go, I'm talking to my own face. When you develop your keen eye as well as your keen ears, that's when you start to pick up what's similar, what, maybe Honeyeaters often have similar phrasing, the way they do their calls, but different tones, maybe beat clicks and things like that. So, yeah. I mean, this is a good way for us to train ourselves, I think. And I'm going to go back to your first one, Shane. I think. Yeah, there's a familiar one there. What's Kevin telling us? Rails. So yeah, we'll get on to onto Suva shortly. Now, Stan sounds like a whipbird, but there's also two other birds that have reminiscent calls of that, and they're both pretty common. Shane, have you practiced with the golden whistler yet? Can you pick its call, and do you know your local golden whistlers? And I mean, you must have grey shrike thrushes there as well, I would imagine. Now, I'm not going to spoil the party. I'm going to give you some ideas, and then think about what you've heard your local birds doing and saying. That's perfect whistler habitat, by the way. Perfect whistler habitat. Now, let's go to. Oh no, let me stop this in a second. Sorry, this is where I need a producer, don't I? Oh, stop. Now, Murray's told us what this one is. Let me share this tab now. Bring it in. Now, this is Murray's. I'll just take this down. Tannum Sands near Gladstone in Queensland. Very, 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 very cool. What have we got here? Back there.
Hey everybody, it's Dave here. I've been away, but I am back. I've been super busy. But yes, we're going to go ahead and take a look at the last couple of days before we get into March 14th and the Jackie and Shadows review. But first off, I want to give a little heads up on the fact that I did not
I can't even see where that is coming from.
bearvalley.org, nor am I a scientist or a professional. So,
Where is that coming from?
just want to clear that up. And as always, we give shout outs to friends of BigBearValley.org for bringing these cameras and giving us a live peek into Jackie and Shadow's lives. Again, if you like what I'm doing, always like, subscribe, and if you want to go ahead and comment or look at any of that information, their links are in on my dialogue box on
Ah, there we are.
so
How did it get? How did that get there? Sorry about that. Did you? I hope you weren't hearing that. Um, Martin, I've just got some emails from you, so that's good. Now, let me go back. So we remember what Stan's sound, what Murray sounded like there, and that was a Rufus Whistler. Similar but different, right? Um, Similar but different. All right. Um, Now let me take that down. And do we? Um, I think all of Martin's was Rufus Whistler. I'm happy to be have contested discussion, but really, really familiar that and especially when it got into the sort of staccato, the chop 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 bits. Here we go. Bird spotted on that walk. Golden Whistler, definitely heard that. Um, I wouldn't be surprised if the lyrebird was calling in yours. I couldn't pick out the red-browed finch. I couldn't pick out the Girigany, either of the fantails. I couldn't hear the bell miner, and I couldn't hear an eastern yellow robin. Um, I thought there might have been at the start grey shrike thrush, and then the golden whistler in all of its finery. Um, we'll play it again in a while. Um, Now I'm just getting to. I've got to get to the emails so that I get the right ones. Um, okay. So these are on Facebook. Okay. Let's see what happens when I open this one up and if I can share this. Oh, yeah, this is the thing. I've got to log into Facebook. God. So we're just going through that rigmarole now. Oh, this is why I don't like Facebook. At the moment, I can't get content on the desktop on Facebook. No, I've just got content isn't available at this moment. Usually because the owner only shared it with a small group of people or has changed. Maybe if I go here, sorry. Uh, okay. So now I've gone to your page for some reason, Martin. I'm going to just click on here and see if this comes up any better. No, Facebook's telling me I can't see it unless it's in your news feed and I can find it somewhere. Videos. Martin's videos. Oh no, that's Rand Paul. I don't want to look at him. Yeah, no, that's why it's just not. No, I can't get to it. I can see your family, Martin. I can see what's in. Can see something about new species of geckos. Yeah, no, sorry, I can't do that. So yeah, emailing a phone video or doing them on YouTube is the way to go. Yeah. Naomi, that's a good suggestion, but I don't use Facebook, so I'm just not. Unless it's easy, I don't have to be. Yeah, I'm just not. I'm just not doing it. Facebook is just too annoying. There we go. You saw that. Kevin, is there any other type? Yellow-bellied shit shoveler when it comes to Rand Paul. Anyway, all right. Now I'm going to go to Twitter, and I'm going to find Bronwyn. Well, here's the first one. Actually, let me just break out the. I'll just get this down back to there. I better share this and then I'll tell you who it is and whatnot. Share screen, Twitter. Okay. Now in the vision, because I've got the big screen in front of me, I can see 2 royal spoonbills. I can see, it looks like 2 dusky moorhens and a duck, which maybe when it's swimming. Oh, and there's another one too. So I would reckon there's a maned goose there. Thanks, Martin. I just got another email, so we'll check that in a minute. Wood duck, maned goose, and coots. Right, I can tell you there's 2 of Australia's most prolific birds that I could hear in this. Let's see what we have. I'll just run that one again. Back to the start. So, what could you? Leaden flycatcher. That was what was at the beginning, was it? In that one, okay. Yes, Shane. Those 2 very common birds were the magpie, Australian magpie, and the noisy miner. There was another honeyeater in there, but I'm not sure. Which one it is. I'll just see if I can find out where we are. How cool is that to have 2 two Royal Spoonbills in there. Now, this is from Rod, and unfortunately for Rod, he's a St Kilda supporter. And he must be down my way. Oh, he's got a sparrowhawk or a brown goshawk in his Twitter banner, which is fantastic. And he's got actually I'll share this because this is pretty good for the start of his Twitter feed. Look at this. Have a look at the goshawk or the sparrowhawk. I can't tell from front on. Beak open, coming at him, and then Eastern Rosella, one of the rippers. Tawny Frogmouth, promoted tweet. We don't want that. And then Tawny Frogmouth, Willy Wagtail, Silver Eye or White Eye, White-browed Scrub Wren. So, I think he's probably down near, maybe he's down near the southeast in Melbourne. Anyway, I'll take that out and I'll find Barbara Frederick's one. There are a few in my notifications in Twitter. So, here we are. Here's Bronwyn's. Let's get to that. Volumes up. So Bronwyn's usually in Canberra, I think, but I think at the moment she's in Brisbane. Bronwyn Fredericks, Professor Bronwyn Fredericks. Let's go. Young one. So there we go. So feeding on the liquid amber fruits. So and she's at Indooroopilly at the moment there. So yeah, quite messy. Yeah, what have we got here? Hey, first-hand donkey, piss off, frankly. Dogehype.com. Yeah, I'm really going to get involved in Dogecoin, you knob. Nick off. Yeah, okay. Naomi, yes, well, that one was... Little Corellas are cool, but the Little Corellas in Brisbane sound slightly different to the Little Corellas at my place, and the Kangaroo Island ones slightly true apart. Yes, Little Corellas and sulphur cresteds, galahs, if they spend enough time. Long-billed Corellas here can do all sorts of things too. If they're interested enough, if they're curious enough, yeah. They can open things. Kevin, you've probably seen that the cockatoos in Sydney, sulphur cresteds, have taught themselves how to open the wheelie bins to get into the rubbish. Same way that the ibis have, and The Ravens here are working it out too. I haven't seen them totally open and flip back a lid, but I have seen a group of them helping each other open up and dip in. So, yeah, okay. So that was Bronwyn's this morning. I'll just go through. Deb's given us the little her photos. I think there's one more. I'll just keep going through. Did everybody see the post about my episode on Birdapod? Yeah, that they've been very destructive. They can be very destructive. They love Western red cedar. Let me just open this one. If you haven't, if you're not a subscriber yet to the Weekend Birder podcast at Birdapod, episode 15 is out, and it features me. And I spoke to Kirsty before she'd launched. I think I was about the third or fourth interview that she'd done, I think, for her podcast. So I was being Grumpy Grant on that one, I think. Have you? You've probably heard me saying this before. The quote was basically, if you're playing sounds of a bird, hoping to lure them in, what you're doing is playing a territorial, distress, or contact call. This was paraphrased because I think I was talking about if you're doing it for ages. Imagine if someone came to your house and bashed on your front door for 3 or 4 hours. That's effectively what you're doing. Please don't do it. Just be nice. Well, can you imagine me always saying be nice? I don't know about that. Anyway, I'll look for another one. Martin, we've got your young Eastern Rosella in the feed, in that thread, so that was good. Now let's see. I'm sure there's one more. Sorry. I thought I had one more, but maybe not. And then we'll have a look and see how we can get yours happening, Murray, that you've sent me. I've got all Mond stuff. Murray, your red-browed finches in the photo. Mond's ones. Oh, I've got another one from Bronwyn, and this was yesterday, so we can check that out. So this is another one from Indrapilli, along the river in Brisbane. Let's get it open. Okay, this is Indrapilli, Brisbane, yesterday morning. What's the bird in the background? Okay, so there is a bird in the background, and if you're not wearing headphones, you probably won't hear it. It sounds like the first notes for the grey strike thrush, but then it also sounds whistlerish, but it's not it's not a song. It's just a two note call. I don't know it, but it could, yeah. And I'll do another one because Bronwyn also on. She's been posting First Seen and Heard, and she's out early most mornings. So, where is she again? She's in Indooroopilly still here. So, I don't know if she's actually based in Queensland or based in Canberra, but she was posting in Canberra for most mornings. Kevin's given a like. Good on you, Kevin. All right, we ready for this one? This is the day before, the 13th. So this was Monday morning. Did anyone pick out, apart from Laura Keats, did anyone pick out, I think there's one other that I'm pretty confident of there. Anyone want to have a stab? I'll play it again. Okay, I'm going to venture my guess. I reckon there's pied currawongs there as well, and I wouldn't be surprised if there was. Shane. Sorry, was it a little bronze cuckoo? Don't know. Could well have been. I don't. Got maybe the shining bronze cuckoo up there. I don't know, but it did sound to me like far off group of currawongs just chatting. But it also could have been. It could have been some young magpies again, just chatting, trying to get to know each other and learn their calls. Okay, what have we got here? I get some. I hope you're following. What did they tag here? Birding, bird photography. I'm getting tagged into so many great photo stuff nowadays on Twitter, which I'm really enjoying. Now, I'm just going to go back to notifications because I've got a bunch of them and I'll see what they are. And then, Murray, we're going to get your emails happening. Photos. These are all just people liking and commenting, so not submitting anything. Oh, good on you, Martin. You've retweeted the tweet that I was in. Okay. All right. No. Oh, what did Jess have to say? Follow Sandy Horn too, by the way, if you're on Twitter. I'm just checking. Bronwyn. Actually, so Bronwyn Fredericks is based in Brisbane. Professor and Pro Vice Chancellor for Indigenous Engagement at University of Queensland. Yes, and And of course, she's got retweets don't mean that I agree. So that's the same as mine. I said retweets just mean that I retweeted. That's all it means. Okay. Okay. Natalie's woken up, so that's good. All right. Thanks, Martin. I have got two more of yours, I think. Facebooks. Okay, let's see if this Facebook is any easier, or if it tells me. Okay, I've got to continue. Okay, I've got to. There we go. That's going to be better. Thank you, Martin. Let's share this tab, but I want it to be. Where's the control? There we are. There we are. All right. And if I go to there, that makes it better. Okay. Got to get used to how the Facebook lets me do things. Okay, we've got it organised, Martin. Let's just be... you'll be able to tell that Martin is out for a walk on this one. Oh, Coel, hear that? Butcherbird.
Butcherbird.
Sounds like a peaceful dove in there too. Martin, is that the grey butcherbird? That sounds like the grey butcherbird here, but you would... Hang on. I was talking over that. What did you say? Did you say Friarbird? You have the pied up there, pied butcherbird up there too, don't you, Martin? So anyway, it sounds like a grey. Yeah.
The Friarbird.
Which Friarbird have you got? The noisy Friarbird? You'd have little Friarbirds too, wouldn't you?
And the Friarbird.
Ah, I want to come back further than that. Right, back to here.
And the Friarbird.
Is that the Friarbird there that we just heard?
Oh, Friarbird's giving him some grief.
Yeah. Would you like that to run through again without me interrupting it? Yes, I think you would.
Butcherbird. a fry bed.
Spotted doves are actually
The fry
making
bed's
love
giving him some grief.
outside my window. Oh. So I'm distracted. The spotted doves are giving it a real good go outside my place, outside my window. Okay, so that one's sorted that out. Oh yeah, he's really going for it. I'll just get Martin's next one up, and we'll check that one out. And Martin, are these different than the first ones? Because I might try those ones as well. Oh, this one should be good. This is not a dawn chorus, though. This is a evening. Let's get right down so here so I can get the whole control. Okay, back into... So this is evening chorus. Yep. Martin, I think you've labelled that as Spangled Drongos, which I would concur with. I think I could hear them in the earlier one as well. So, yeah. Let me see whether I can now open up these earlier ones that I couldn't before. Oh, yes. Well, we'll go with this one, hey? Because we'll definitely check this one out. This looks... Oh, this is Calliope. We'll go with this one, folks. Put the sound on. I'm looking forward to hearing this one. Not hard to understand why that one is called the well, it's not a it's not a boo book. It's not the boo book we have down here, I don't think. But Shane and Martin's gone with boo book as well. Martin's gone with barking owl, and yeah, it's Martin. Why so confident with that ID? And I will get your next one up. Was it this one? That's the same one. Okay. I think it's the one we were watching earlier on. It's not exactly the same, but it is similar birds. Okay. Yeah, Martin, let's did you see the owl at Calliope? Calliope's a great place, I reckon, by the way. I stopped and had, pretty sure I had a pie and a pasty at Calliope on my way to Jambin on Grey Falcon Day, as I like to call it. All right, let's check out this latest one, and then I want to hear the owl story, please, Martin. Are we ready?
Butcherbird. And a frybird. A frybird's giving him some grief.
All right. Well, that is the one we had heard before. All right. Well, what I'm going to do now is take a few of those down. Well, someone sent me a messenger. I don't use Messenger either, by the way. But of course, people think you do. I'm going to bring up something else so that we can try out. So all right, let's share this tab, bring it back in. One of my favourite websites ever. Well, let's first go to the song. Let's go. Okay, that was just looking for Australian ones here. I'm getting these from all over the country. That's a fledgling. That sounds more like yours, doesn't it? There we are. Now here's another one from that location. Oh, peacock. All right, let's go the good old Australian boo book, and let's say I'm going to look for one around you. Topaz. Well, here's a couple from Queensland. Let's try the Queensland ones out. Yeah, that's typical boo book for me. Here's one close to me. Oh, this is Christopher Watson. Eventually. Getting going. Yeah. There we are. So that's standard call, which is different to the one that you recorded. Here's another Queensland one. It's another Queensland one. Well, they make a bit of noise, don't they? Oh, Angela. Here's one from Angela, which is a bit closer. Yep, Martin, I'm happy to go with you. Not the not the Boo Book or the Morpork call that it's not so much the tonality, but yours just didn't have that that two note characteristic that the Boo Books generally have. That was cool. I'm just going to check my emails again and see if anyone else has. No. Just check. No, and I better look in the spam because sometimes it goes there. No, and actually, I've got no emails from either Jeff Bezos or Elon Musk or no Nigerian princes or anything, or no one from the United Nations, which is unusual. So that's pretty good. I only check my spam once a week or so. Okay, so I'm going to stop sharing because I think we've got to the end of everything there. Now, Kevin, are you still with us? If you are, Kevin, I'm going to invite you if you want to jump in the studio and so brush your hair, and you can do it from your phone if you want to. So, Kevin, do you want me to post the studio link and you can jump in and maybe tell us about Fiji while we've got you here, and tell us what you're going to do in Vanuatu? And maybe you can just give us a brief rundown on the Bird Explorers. So just let us know if you want to. So, well, that's good. I've worked out that that I can get Facebook things, so that's good. So just let us know, Kevin, if you want to jump in. While we're doing that, I should do my ad, shouldn't I? Oh, will I show you what's coming up on Monday? Would you like to know what's coming up on Monday? I'm excited. Millie's confirmed and locked in. Sent me her new pictures. So Millie is back with me on Monday. So we'll find out how she's been going with her flight around the country. I've put her little shorebirds on the graphic. So that's midday. So it's Monday with me and Holly, on the 20th. And then the 27th is Holly, and I think we've got someone else then. And correct me if I'm wrong, audience, Monday the 3rd is actually Easter, isn't it? You can let me know. Okay, Kevin, I am going to... so I'm only popping this into the Facebook chat. So you'll have that now in the chat, Kevin. So just you can sign in to that. It'll probably send you a code so that you can't get bombed like in Zoom. And you can see if you can jump in, and we'll talk about Fiji and Bird Explorers and Vanuatu. That would be cool. Oh, and two, Riot Squad. If any of you are interested in learning how to do all this stuff and bring things up and stuff, I'd love someone to be like the co-producer for, especially for this, for Dawn Chorus, because it's hard to be chatting and bringing everything up. And if I haven't had them at least a few hours before, I can't prepare all the visuals. But if I had someone who wanted to learn how to do everything, I could give them access to all the, like to my Canva and everything, and just, do the overlays and everything on the fly and bring things up. That would be unreal. Martin's just sent me another one. All right, so I'll get that one happening while we are seeing if Kevin can come in. Link may be broken or page may have been removed. So if you do want to share that one that you just tried to share, Martin, please try again. Because it didn't... I got a broken link. Anyone else got anything they want to tell me about? Of course, I'll do the other ad while we're at here. Of course, I have been telling you that you can join. Oh, where's my... so thank you everyone who has joined. That's been really cool. You can join thebirdemergency.com/join. Only got one level at the moment, but if you want to do something more amazing, you can go to buymeacoffee.com/birdemergency or thebirdemergency.com/coffee, as somebody was fantastic this morning. Oh, Kevin in Fiji. There we are. Hello. There we are.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. I can hear you fine, so that means everyone else can.
Cool.
So I'll get you started, Kevin. Martin's just emailed me another link. So while I get that going, can you tell everyone what the Bird Explorers is about? And I'll just say, okay, Stan, you can become a producer later in the year. And there we are, Bulla.
Okay. Let me just. It's a bit hot out here, so maybe I'll stand behind the.
Near the aircon.
Here, I'll stand behind this. Thing behind me. Wojciech commissioned that from a local artist, and there's like 5 bird species hidden in the. I can show you that sometime. I'm not sure how to turn around the camera though to see that. Yeah. But anyway, Bird Explorer is pretty simple. When I was a kid, I sort of decided that I was really into photography, and then I wanted to photograph like every bird in the world because I was fascinated by birds and animals. And then my partner and I got together about over 30 years ago, and then we came up with this idea, well, let's try to photograph every species of bird in the world, because our jobs are overseas aid, sort of setting up national parks, writing laws about animals and wildlife and legislation, helping during disasters, monitoring cyclones, all kinds of things that we do in sort of overseas aid and travel. And so that carried us all over the world all the time. And then as the time went on, we got so interested in mammals, and we got so interested in butterflies and dragonflies, and then I took up diving and got so interested in everything under the water, and now we just photograph. I think we've totaled up now about 35 to 40,000 species, of which I'm almost at 3,000 now on iNaturalist. But then I'm still actually, I haven't, the sort of last year I fully cataloged is 2004. so you can see how far behind we actually are. We're much better at taking photos than cataloging them, unfortunately. But so yeah, that's just what Bird Explorers is, because we just love nature and everything so much, and we travel for so much, so it just sort of fit together. And anytime we're not actually working, then we're just in the bush or under the water or doing the photography. So that's basically what it is. It's pretty simple, yeah.
So, I wanted to ask you when I first saw you popping up on TikTok and seeing that you'd been in so many locations, and you know, I reached out to you and I said, I've got to get you on the show. So this was the question I was going to ask you, and you've just answered it. How the hell do you afford it? I was going to say, who's George Soros funding you around the world?
Well, well, no. Any place that's hired us as part of I've only had 2 real jobs in my life, which were both for about 15 years. One running a foundation based out in Sydney, which was called the Australian Foundation for Asia and the Pacific, and one being the Asia Pacific Director of World Animal Protection, which is now the World Society for the Protection of Animals, which is now World Animal Protection. And of course, with those jobs, I was just traveling constantly. And Wojciech the same. Wojciech does a lot of work with refugee camps. He was actually running the Dadaab refugee camp, which is the biggest. I don't think it's still the biggest camp to date, but was at that time was the biggest refugee camp on the Somali-Kenya border. And so our jobs just always basically whenever. Our jobs just sort of understood that what we were doing. In fact, and plus everybody was always using our photos anyway for promotions, for promoting our work we're doing with animals and wildlife and the environment. So we would just, every weekend that we were traveling somewhere, we would, we wouldn't come back from that assignment until we had like 2 or 3 days in the bush, wherever that assignment was. So that's sort of been how it is, I guess. So really, it's not. If you do it wisely and hang out in the bush, it really isn't that. It's not as expensive as it might seem.
No, just if your flights are covered for work, I mean that's about 90% of the cost. Even if even travelling light, you've still got to fly, unless you do that amazing overland journey that we were talking about on Monday. Kevin, I'm just. This is just a totally inside baseball kind of question, but in the NGO sort of movement, do you meet many of the other people? I'm wondering if you have come across Arch Law in your or Arch Law AO, I think we have to call him now.
Sorry, there was just the truck passing around the. What was the last part of that?
Arch Law. Have you ever met Arch before? Archie Law.
No. Not Arch.
Well,
as I think I told you, when I was based in Sydney, I was on the board of the what was then the Royal Society for the Protection of Birds, which is now Birds Australia.
Yeah.
And I was on the New South Wales board. Kate Ravitch was the chair of the board.
Well, BirdLife Australia now. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's when that project Birds in the Backyard got started, and I think Holly got involved back. I remember Holly from back in the day as well. So people like Kate and things I know. We've actually had her out here looking at some of the birds in Fiji, and I think Wojciech had her out to Vanuatu as well at one point. And so I know some people, but there's probably a lot of people I don't know.
Did you listen to the Kate Bird Emergency episode yet?
Oh no, I haven't had a chance to yet, but she's pretty cool. She's pretty amazing, and she's she's been doing it for years and years and years now. So both her and her late husband were very good friends of ours. Bob was a wonderful character. I don't know if you ever got a chance to meet him, but
I never met him, but I
we-
did
we-
read
we were
read
friends
many
with
of
them
his
going
articles.
years and years and years back, so.
Now,
Yeah, no, he was a really good guy. Yeah.
now, while we've got you, let's do a short thing. I want to get you, Kevin, when you've got some time and we prepare for it, to do a Photography Friday with me, which is where we go over gear and techniques and best shots and whatnot. But Naomi's got a question, because I know Naomi loves her photography. So what?
Okay, gear. I'm not nearly, even though I've been photographing my entire life, I'm still what I call somewhat illiterate with technologies, as anyone who knows me for 5 minutes sort of knows. In fact, well, no, I don't know if I can show you. Sorry, I can't even tilt the camera the right way. This is I'm packing up my gear. This is the underwater camera, and I use an Aquatica setup. Aquatica is a really cool underwater photography company in Canada, and that has the Canon R5, I think R2. No, maybe R2. Sorry, there you can see. And I've got this new R7 now, which is my terrestrial camera, which is the one with the wildlife eye focus, which is when it hits the eye, it's amazing. But often it hits anything but the eye, especially like a swamp chicken. Like, you know how rails feed and then the tail goes up and the head goes down? Well, it always thinks the eye is at the highest part of the head. So when the tail goes up, it somehow tries to find the eye in the tail. But anyway, I've been really happy with my little R7, this new wildlife photography thing. And it's a half... how do you call it? It's like the old Canon D7. It's a crop sensor, which means it focuses it's an auto crop kind of system it has in the phone. And a lot of the full frame cameras are not so useful, I find, for wildlife, but the crop cameras are really good. And this R7 with the wildlife eye focus is quite fun. And it's pretty affordable too, as far as cameras goes. I'm still sort of learning how to use it, but it's been quite a lot of fun, and I've carted it off to Solomons now in Thailand and a few other places, and it's worked quite well. Although it tends to get a bit odd when it gets in really hot and humid weather, but otherwise it's fine.
Very, very, very cool. Well, I'll chase you up about doing a Photography Friday and hopefully get you on maybe with Sandy or Nicholas or someone as well, so they can be totally tech specky, and you can talk about the joy and the love. That'd be cool. Martin, I just want to let you know, Martin, too. Sorry, Kevin. Martin, every one of those links that you've been emailing me comes up as broken link. So no, Facebook just doesn't play nice. So upload them on your YouTube, and then I'll be able to play them on the YouTube. That's why I do the YouTube, because it's much more friendly. How long have you been in Suva?
Oh, I've just been in Suva since I was in Singapore for last week, I think. So I've just been in Suva now for what's today?
Today's Wednesday.
Right? Let's see. When did I come? Yeah, no, it's been a week. I've been here a week, and now off to Vanuatu tomorrow. Wojciech works for the New Zealand government here, inside the ministry that deals with the disasters, which the department's called NDMO, the National Disaster Management Office. And even during this recent cyclone in New Zealand, what was the Gabriella, I think. Gabriella, the cyclone in New Zealand. Fiji actually sent a team to New Zealand to help them out, because the people in New Zealand were getting so tired with all the disaster there. Yeah. And now the Vanuatu's just had these two successive hurricanes, these two cyclones. So Fiji sent a team over there, and Wojciech's part of that team over to Vanuatu. So I'm going to go help him and just have a look at the effects of the cyclones on the wildlife. Like, we hear that they're confiscating all the slingshots right now because the trees are so denuded from the cyclones that the pigeons are being picked off really easily. And so the authorities are trying to confiscate all the slingshots. And I'm also going to take the camera in the water to see if I can see the dugongs. They've got a healthy population of dugongs in the harbor there. And I don't think anyone's, they've been so busy just trying to make sure everybody's safe that I don't think anyone's been looking at the dugongs. So I thought I'd take the camera in and see how the dugongs have fared. The harbor's pretty protected, so I assume they've survived Cyclone Pam. So if they can survive that, they can survive anything, I suspect.
Yeah.
But it'll be good to see if they're all hanging out there and all happy and everything. Yeah.
A good reminder of how much work and commitment that the New Zealanders put into the Pacific, and that perhaps Australia could learn a bit about that. Kevin, did you see the big story that's been in the news here about our nuclear-powered sub purchase?
Oh yeah, well I've been following all that because I get involved
on the Twitter.
When I was doing this NGO work, I used to do a lot of work at the United Nations and at the high government level. So I was following all the situation between France, Australia, the United States, and Japan, and all these alliances. There's even an alliance here between New Zealand, France, and Australia out in the Pacific that doesn't not about defense, but about disasters and things. So I'm always fascinated by all of these treaties and alliances and how they all how they all work together. But the world's in a pretty weird place at the moment. So somehow when I was a kid, I thought, we're moving away from World War II and the Vietnam War had ended. And then I was thinking, the world's going to be a good place when I get older. But unfortunately, it hasn't quite worked out that way. So,
well, how about the priorities? Yeah. Well, how about the priorities? We had the Australian government with their stopping extinction announcement, which I think now we're going back to about October last year, I think. So they've put out was 126 million. No, sorry, 256 million to stop extinctions. But they've picked 110 species for that. This is over 10 years. But we've got over 1,100 species that look like that could be going extinct, but they haven't done the research on most of them. So we've got 256 million for species, plants, birds, animals, amphibians, fish, you name it, that are, so many of them, unique to the Australian continent, and we can't afford, 256 million, that's all we can afford, except for the 389 billion that we found for 11 chunks of metal that we won't even have until the big threat that we're all worried about, that we're selling all the iron ore to build their scary military machinery. It's insane, isn't it? It's insane.
Yeah, well, the world is surely a very complex place. We've been very busy on TikTok trying to stop this Willow project, which you probably know about in the States. Unfortunately, Biden's gone ahead and approved that, although he can still rescind it. So we're just working through that right now.
I like the take that Sam Cedar had this morning on it, that the suggestion is that Biden has approved it, hoping that by the time it can be developed, it will be too expensive to develop, so they won't actually do it. So, I don't know. Three-dimensional chess.
That's often it is often like that with politics, I've learned in life. Oftentimes you try to placate one group on the basis that exactly like that the actual harm won't come, and by the time it would come, it's not needed anyway. And so in that way, you keep the other, whatever is the other side, happy. So I mean, it is all very complicated, but what can you do? Just keep fighting the good fight like we all do, I guess.
Well, yeah, it's just frustrating that obviously people are making, you can't have a commitment to reduce emissions at the same time as you approve a project that will, if it goes ahead, will be the equivalent of the emissions of 2 million vehicles. It's just like the Australian government saying we're going to offset all of our fossil fuels, but all the offsets are going to be in projects around the world. So it's like, hey, nobody else, don't anyone else cut anything down. We want to buy them, okay? But we'll continue trashing our joint. It's just nuts, eh? Anyway, I've got Biodiversity Council, I think, coming on, and someone from the Australia Institute to talk about all this stuff. So we'll just leave that there. Here we go. We'll just get the comments up. I can't agree with the idea that it's rubbish. I think this is extremely important, that we need to be activated, and we need to tell the decision makers and the influencers that this stuff isn't good enough. Anyway, that's my opinion. Kevin, I've got to wind it up because we're just about done for time, but I'll invite you on. I'll invite you to do like a proper Kevin show, and maybe we can make it a Photography Friday. So I want to do the ad for everyone about what's coming up tomorrow morning. I'm speaking with Rebecca Heisman, who has written a book called Flight Paths, and the tagline on the book jacket: how a passionate and quirky group of pioneering scientists solve the mystery of bird migration. And it's really quite interesting. And, of course, green screen. There we go. That's it. I only got it yesterday, and I'm about halfway through reading it. You have to clear your mind, and no doom scrolling. That's the worst thing about Twitter. But bird Twitter is pretty cool. Martin, I'm sorry we couldn't get to all of those ones you've been sending me. There are 3 of them that haven't worked with a broken link, so maybe for next time. Folks, put down the date. I've put the 12th of April down for the next Dawn Chorus. So try and get them to me a bit earlier than one day. Thanks, Naomi. You were well ahead, and the Twitter people were well organised. And Martin, yeah, let's do yours the way Stan did his on the Facebook, and Shane, yours were fine on the email, came through super fine. What else have I got to tell you? Monday, Millie Formby, as we just went through. Tuesday, Bruce Richardson, talking about his big year and all of his extended trips in his big troopy. Then Wednesday next week, members only, and I'm going to invite those who have in the last month or two also bought me a coffee. I won't be doing anything next Thursday because I'm going down to get injections. I'm getting my latest COVID, and I'm also getting some injections to prepare me for travelling, because I'm hoping to be going to Philippines and pop into Indonesia and Malaysia on the way. Oh, by the way, Facebook love, thank you, Naomi, but thank you, Miles, as well, and Kevin with the Facebook as well. And thanks for coming on board. Correct, Naomi. I'm getting rabies, typhoid. I need the latest COVID booster, and there's something else I need. I think there's 3 I had to get updated for travelling. So yeah, thanks, Stan. Riot Squad, it's all good. I'm expecting to get tomorrow my latest iteration, the latest attempt at the Riot Squad design. So that could be good. Isn't it a shame we can't just throw an image in there? That would be great, Kevin, to see that. Maybe I'll save that one for maybe the next Photography Friday. We might drag some of these out. Barb, I don't know if you're here today. Hello, if you are. Ricky and I are back too next Friday. So you won't get anything on Thursday, but you will get Ricky and I with the bird watching deep dive, and I'll hopefully have made a nice little piece of something like this for that. And of course it's not all about thornbills. Thornbills will be the basis of Ricky's discussing, but we're going to talk about some of those things about what to look for to try and identify birds. I'll think a bit more about some of the general questions, and we've got a bit more time to workshop how we'll approach it. If you've got any thornbill questions or experiences, let me know just through the usual methods. Email's my favourite because I can't lose it. Email's my favourite, but if you've got any thornbill stuff, and Naomi, and this is also Deb and Mon, and Martin, we've got and Shane, your photos. Maybe we'll try and run through some of those too with Ricky. I don't think we'll have time for any before then. Unless maybe I'll do unless maybe we'll do something on this Friday, because I haven't got anyone. I'm waiting. We might do a Photography Friday on Friday. So there we go. It's great to, I love spending time with all of you and talking birds. So there's nothing better to talk about than birds. So see you later. I'm Grant. I'm a bird nerd. This has been a Bird Emergency March Dawn Chorus edition. See ya.